Hi guys, welcome to the failed grad with me Taz, and we've got Lya here as well also. Obviously we haven't
Hello.
recorded in a very long time, so if you're listening, thank you. Just
If you're
haven't really
still
been,
listening, thank you.
just haven't really been
We
regular with the
haven't
whole
scared them off.
recording thing. Literally off video, we were just talking about how like technology's changed and stuff. Like we had like VCR tapes or cassette tapes, and now it's like then it was DVDs, and now it's just streaming on the internet basically.
All digital.
Yeah. And what were you saying? Like we're gonna like you document stuff, and then people will probably like study it, I guess, or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
what I was saying is basically we think about it as documenting stuff, and maybe in a couple of decades time there might be people, I don't know, who are grateful that we did so, because what we, for example, what people would have thought as ordinary, everyday life thing in the beginning of the 20th century are now, museum pieces, for example. Not to say that we're that interesting, but just in general, everyone.
No, but it's like so interesting that we record stuff and then like 10 years later you watch it and it's just like so nostalgic, I guess. Like you're looking back, you're spending time looking back on how things used to be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not exactly how things used to be, but how you think things used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be more accurate.
Yeah, and it's so different. And like I was saying, well, we decorated like one of the rooms in our house, so we had to take everything out and then put everything back in. And then doing that, I found an old story thing that I wrote, which I'll read some of because I read some of it yesterday and it was just so like amusing and so funny how I actually wrote that. I think this is when I was like 10 or 11, because basically we had this old computer, like it wasn't like a flat screen computer, the really old computers which had like a back to it as well.
A massive back.
Yeah, that.
Like, they look like boxes.
So basically I spent my time just like typing on this computer, and I think I was around about maybe 10, 11. Do 11-year-olds know how to write then? I don't know. So I titled this The Unknown. Yeah, so
I mean, I feel like this is where I get to put my skills as an English grad to use to analyze your kind of writing.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to find.
So, just a warning, I might be a bit too analytical.
Okay, so I'll just extract some of it because it's like apparently I wrote like a page and a half. So it's about these two characters called Millie and Jacoby, apparently, who are brother and sister. And then this weird creature that I named Zenkor. And apparently I kill off this creature in the story. So I wrote, both Millie and Jacoby sat beside dead Zenkor, tears flowing down both their faces. Jacoby leant towards his sister's arm and wept. Which 11
great opening.
I know, which 11-year-old is writing the word wept? And it said, all this action-packed scene lasted about 10 seconds, and now what was left was the lonely darkness. Jacoby, Millie, and a dead corpse of the most beloved creature and well-deserved hero, Zinkor.
Wow.
The creature was all but dust and pain.
That's very elaborate.
And I was gonna.
How old did you say you were? 11?
I think so, because this is like a while back. Because I think we got rid of that computer like maybe when I was like 13, 14. So it has to be when I was like around that age. And then so when I was just reading this stuff, I was like, what kind of words was I using as an 11-year-old? Like some of the imagery is like let me see. So what else did I write? So apparently there was another weird lady in this story that I'd written, and I described her as being, she looked mad, weird, wearing a spotty skirt and a bright red t-shirt. Another emphasis on she looked weird and totally the wrong person to be with, but what else did they have? And then,
I feel a slight judgment on your part.
Yeah, and then imagine I had like such a fashion sense that I was judging my so-called characters.
Exactly.
And then I wrote
because that's what villainizes a person, their choice of clothing.
Yeah, exactly. And then I wrote that with their faces dropped open, faces of disbelief, the children were shocked. How could she know? It's just so funny, like the wording that I'd used and all this other stuff, like a drip of sweat dripped down Millie's face on the floor, and then
it's
she
very
froze.
detailed. Like you had a good eye for detail there.
Yeah, definitely an imagination. I was just thinking like how like children are so much different from like when we used to be kids. I guess like it's all about iPads, computer games,
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
I mean, if anything, it shows that even, it sounds a bit silly now, reading it now, but it ultimately shows that you did spend a lot of time reflecting. And with like social media and the constant distractions, I feel like a lot of kids don't even get the opportunity to do that. Just do this kind of self-reflecting.
Yeah, but it was just so funny to think that I'd spent time sat in front of the computer to write a book on Microsoft Word.
But you never know, it might get published someday, and we might discover like, oh, this is a masterpiece.
I don't know about it being a masterpiece, but definitely like I like the words that I used in this. I to be honest,
like very writery.
Yeah, very like
words.
illustrating a picture. Like I could definitely not do this now.
Did you, by the way, read a lot when you were a child?
Yeah, I definitely used to read so much, and now it's like like so many people during lockdown were like reading books. But the thing is, I don't think I can even read a book anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can read a book. I mean, doing an English degree, you sort of have to. But I can't do it without always having that thought that, oh, I could be doing something else. Like, it's just really difficult to do it and to be only focused on this one thing, the text in front of you, is something that I definitely struggle with.
Yeah, because it's like, I think as a kid, it was just you'd always read for fun. But then when you get to like even like A levels and stuff, then you have to read stuff to learn. And it's like at uni, then it's like actual like reading papers, like research stuff, and it's like I feel like I don't associate reading with being like a fun activity anymore. Like so many people.
I know I enjoy it. It's just I can't do it without thinking there's something else I could be doing at the same time. That's more, I don't know. Yeah.
So basically, you'd rather be doing something else than read a book.
No, the thing is, I want to read a book and I want to do it. It's just I can't do it without getting distracted after 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's just weird. I used to go to the library and then buy books. And like I would like spend my whole day like reading the book, like finishing it.
Yeah.
And it's like now I just couldn't, like I've tried to read a book and it's just I don't think I could do it anymore. Like you said, it's
I think that's something a lot of people had. Like I had tutors at uni who said the same thing, and they, part of their job is to read professionally, and even they get distracted. So I think it's just a current age, like with social media, there's so many external things that you can get distracted by.
Yeah, I definitely rate people who like read books and stuff now, but yeah, it's not something I could do now. Like it's like you said, like you'd rather do something else than do that.
Yeah.
And on that note, I have been trying to sew as well now.
Oh wow, that's so funny because I was planning on sewing my t-shirt and eventually my mom ended up doing it for me.
No, I saw what was it? Best Dressed on YouTube.
Oh yeah. I still watch that.
Yeah, so I saw one of the videos where she was like doing like a thrift.
Oh, I could never do what she's doing because she's doing very high quality stuff. I could never do that. I mean, sewing as in sewing to a hole or something.
Yeah, so I was like, let me just have a go at this, and yeah, it didn't go too well. But it's one of those things you have to like practice, I guess, and get used to. But
yeah, I mean, it's weird to think about. There used to be like a life skill that just everyone, I mean, especially every girl or woman could do, and now it's like it's very, I don't know.
And the reason that I wanted to use a sewing machine is because did I tell you I was watching this Spanish TV show called Velvet?
Oh yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah, which I recommend, and it's like about it's like a fashion store where they actually like back then like what you call it, couture. Basically, like high-end fashion, like it wasn't like ready-made. You'd have to like get your measurements taken, and you would like pick a dress from like a book or something, and then they would then sew it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it used to be like that, and I just got into it, and I was like, maybe I could try sewing. So yeah, I did have a go. It didn't go very well, but I think I'm gonna like practice because it's like so. When you like actually sew something and you see like how it's sewn, you have like so much more of a greater appreciation for like people who actually sew stuff properly.
Satisfying, and especially like today, like everything is about fast fashion. I think it's a very good thing to get into.
Oh, did you see the whole like Boohoo thing and the Leicester sweatshops?
Oh, I heard about. I was actually going to ask you about that because I heard something, but I didn't. I was actually going to look into it more, but didn't end up doing it.
Yeah, I was surprised that they actually sew, like Boohoo gets stuff sewn in Leicester. Like I was so surprised because it's mainly like
I had no idea that was all going on.
Yeah, it's mainly like Bangladesh, India, like all around those sorts of areas. So I was just really shocked. And then they're saying that these people are basically being paid like next to nothing as well.
Yeah.
So when I
it's
saw
weird,
that,
like when you buy like a piece of clothing or a T-shirt or something, you don't think about it that the person who made it probably, barely got paid any, close to nothing for doing it.
Yeah, there's apparently a Leicester garment factory that produces clothes for Boohoo, and then they're actually being paid less than the minimum wage, which I'm so surprised.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I never bought anything from them.
No.
Purely because what they do is just too quirky for my taste.
Not only that, but have you seen like what is it, like Forever 21? You buy a T-shirt and it's got the most random like thing written on the back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just ruined a perfectly like decent T-shirt. But I think even with them,
I thought they closed down, didn't they? Forever 21.
I think they have like closed down loads of stores. They were like a massive like fast fashion thing, but I don't like.
Yeah, a couple years ago, I think I ordered a couple of things from them online, but this was like years ago.
Yeah, but all of those clothes, they're like decent, and then they have the most random thing written on the back, like girl power, or
which they don't show on the website, right?
Yeah, and then you turn it around, it's like, but yeah, I don't really use like Boohoo, Misguided, Pretty Little Thing anyway, too much. But yeah, I think they're like one of the most biggest contributors to like the whole fast fashion thing.
I mean, obviously it's difficult because buying clothes that are quote unquote ethically made, they're more expensive as well. So a lot of people have to rely on fast fashion because of budget.
Yeah, that's true. But
so I think it's a really difficult thing. Yeah,
it's one of those things that you kind of have to like balance, I guess. Because even with me, like I think I'd rather pay. See, this is the thing I was gonna go on to, because it, like, say you buy something from like brand B, and the thing is, you expect this brand, okay, like for a T-shirt maybe it's £40. And the thing is, the way I feel is sometimes when something costs more, I expect it to be more like ethically made and the people producing it to be paid more. But in actuality, you check the label and stuff, and it's like made in, I don't know, let's say like Turkey, something like that, and you just realize the fact that price doesn't actually reflect on like the quality of the piece and like whether it's ethically or not. A lot of the times,
I had a similar realization. I don't know if you've heard of this clothing brand. It's called the End of the Stories or And Other Stories.
Okay.
And they have like quite pricey clothes, and they're quite like, some of them look nice, but like they're basically just another branch of H&M. So they're basically under the same kind of company or something. And even though they're more expensive, they're not ethically made, obviously, because H&M gets their stuff made in all these places where they don't have to pay minimum wage because the work is very cheap.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't think price is always an indication for quote unquote better.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's just people like increasing their profit margin, I guess, just purely based on the label. So let's say if you bought something from brand A, which is like a £5 T-shirt versus a £40 T-shirt, and the actuality is it's just the company is making more money off the £40 T-shirt when both T-shirts cost exactly the same to make and produce and to ship over and everything. So I think it's not really easy for consumers to make like what's like basically decide how which clothing's more ethical, like.
I think there's something about like just generally buying expensive stuff that like has its own value. Like a lot of people, like myself included, if I know I'm buying something expensive, then it's just I automatically think that it's better.
Yeah.
like you're just more attracted to expensive things, which is, it's not always to do with the quality at all, just seeing that number. And I don't know, it's difficult to explain, but
No, I get what you mean. That's exactly what led me onto the whole like thing where you just check, and like a lot of the times it'll be one factory producing clothing for all these other companies, and then those companies sell those items to people at like different prices.
Yeah.
So like it's an interesting thing, and then something like consumers definitely need to basically to find those things out you have to kind of do your own research. And it's like, who's doing that when you're going shopping though? That's the thing.
Exactly, you don't even think about doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You just like go to the shop, you pick up whatever you need, and you go home, try it on, whatever.
I mean, it's funny how you say that, but like in terms of the thinking. But if you like, basically, people do think about what clothes they pick out, even if unconsciously, because it's such an important. Even people who say, "Oh, I throw on a t-shirt. I don't care what I look like," blah blah blah. They still, there's still a conscious thing, like, process going into choosing to carve this identity that you present to the outside world. And I think clothes are very huge.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we spend so much money on clothes when you could just wear like a black t-shirt and jeans.
But also time thinking about it.
Like, honestly, at uni, I would like, because to save my time, like to save myself time in the morning, I would just kind of have an idea of what I was gonna wear like the night before.
Yeah, same. I would even like prepare it and just put it on my chair the night before, and then just throw it on in the morning.
Yeah, like before, like the night before, I'd have like a quick look at my wardrobe to see what I haven't already like worn in that week, and be like, yeah, and then just like pick whatever, go with whatever, jeans, whatever, like trousers.
Yeah.
And then with your shoes, and then accessories and all that other stuff. But yeah.
That reminds me, oh my god, the amount of people at uni whom I saw just browsing clothes during lectures. Because you know how people take their laptops to the lecture theatre, and I used to sit at the back, and so I could always see like the people's the like whatever people had on their laptop screens. And 99% of the time it was browsing clothes or makeup or
Yeah, definitely. Like the amount of people that I've seen like online shopping during lectures.
Yeah, during lectures.
And then I've seen.
I don't get why that's something they can do. Like I never took my laptop to lectures. Part of it because it's it's just too big and it always needed to be plugged. And I have this old anyway, so I never had a laptop during lectures because I also thought it was very distracting. But I would get distracted by other people's they browsing clothes throughout the whole lecture.
I swear, I've also seen like so many people like watching TV shows and stuff.
I didn't see them watching TV shows, only like browsing like Mango or Zara or whatever.
No, I've seen someone watch like not Pokemon, but along those lines, and like The Simpsons and stuff.
Like an anime or something.
Yeah, and I was like, well,
what?
like.
Yeah, but that has how did they have the ears plugged in or?
I think I think they were like wearing AirPods or something.
Oh, fair enough. So I was just gonna say, like, people can hear that.
Yeah, and so like, and then you see people like watching those sorts of shows, or like going on Facebook and like messaging or whatever. But definitely like online shopping is like one of the biggest things I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I was also doing a degree bearing in mind where 80% of the students were female, so.
Yeah, English. Oh, have you got your grades back?
Yeah, I got my degree classification as well, so it's all good.
So you're
a
graduate.
Like a week late as well, so for the last week they didn't, because they were meant to post it, I think 2 weeks ago, maybe on Friday.
Post it.
Everyone in the English department, like all the other students, we were like at the edge of our seats waiting for the results to be finally posted. So they were late.
Oh, they sent it through the post.
No, they didn't send it through the post. They posted it online.
Oh, posted it online.
But
okay.
Basically we were all refreshing our
the student records.
Student records, yeah, basically.
No, because did you see that they were meant to like send the certificate as well or something in the post?
I think they will still do that. It's just
yeah,
I think they will do that in August. It's just I mean they were late on everything this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if it took them until September to get it.
Yeah, I did get my results back, so I'm also a graduate now,
Officially,
yeah. Just working at a supermarket now, which is all very fun. It's just so weird though, like.
Listen, as long as you're making money.
Yeah, it's just weird though, because it's like you worked all this much, but now it's just I'm doing whatever I was doing before I even started the degree. So it's so like weirdly like
not much has changed.
Yeah, basically. I'm just kind of like I think it hasn't really hit me that much, because I think at the moment it kind of feels like summer holidays.
Yeah.
Where I was like working anyway, and then I'd like be back at uni in September. But I feel like when September comes, I'll be like, yeah, what am I doing? It'll be like so strange, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just real life. Trying to figure out what the next step is.
I mean, basically, like, uni, if you think about it, like, the whole experience of it is such an unreal thing, because you're kind of like, I don't know, you kind of removed or isolated from the reality of everyday, kind of a monotonous everyday life, because you're always looking forward to the next thing, the next essay, the next graduation, and then you don't realize that after uni is over, the rest of your life is just kind of it's just kind of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's just so weird to think about it like that.
I think that prepare you for that.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm kind of living right now, because obviously, like, I'm glad to be back at work, because I finally have like a routine and stuff. But it's just weird to think that this is going to be my permanent routine, at least for like the next year.
Yeah, even if you're going to do a different work, and you probably will, it's still like, in terms of the hours and the routine of it, it's going to be the same.
Yeah, I think it's really true what you said. Like, when you're at uni, you're like detached from reality, and it's a complete different life. You're like having your like best life, I guess. Just like living, like being at uni, and then not really you have like financial responsibilities, but not like to a massive degree. You're like, your main thing is to pay for your rent, pay for your food, and then you're at uni. It's just this little uni, little uni life bubble. It's not really like real life.
It's not really quote unquote real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you like said it basically spot on. I think that's kind of how I feel. Like, I'm happy to, like I said, be working and stuff, but at the same time, the way I feel is like, oh, is this it? Like, this can't be it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I know, but this is it.
You feel like, yeah, this is it.
I feel like this is like a big, like revelation. This is it.
Yeah, it's just.
This is the rest of your life.
Yeah, you don't really get prepared for that.
No.
Which is why I think a lot of people just do masters like straight after.
Yeah, basically that's why especially like on my course, there are so many people going into straight into a master's degree, just so they can delay the process of
real life.
Stepping into this monotonous adulthood that we've been talking about just now, just to delay it a little longer,
Yeah, I don't know where I saw this, but I was reading somewhere like when you stay in one place, you're reducing your chances of being exposed to like different things.
Yeah.
So like you're in your just hometown, and then you're just going to work. You're doing the same thing every single day, and you're not getting exposed to like different things and different opportunities, because you've already set yourself in this routine.
I mean, actually, I don't think that's always a bad thing. It's something that we've been talking about with my mom actually this weekend, because I went to see her.
Yeah.
And she said that how, she envies these people who kind of like live in these small villages, and they don't really use social media that much. They don't follow the news every day, but they just kind of go about their lives, and they kind of live in this kind of blissful ignorance that was a privilege that every single person on earth had, because you just didn't have this whole, exposure to everything that's going on at the world at the moment. And it was, like, in a way, it had its benefits, basically.
Yeah, I kind of understand what you mean, but I think, like, for me, the whole thing, the concept kind of relates to the fact that, when you just think, is that it? Like, you're in your, like, early 20s, and you feel like it's that sort of time where you get to try new things and different experiences, like moving. across the world temporarily, just being exposed to like different cultures and different people. And like, I think like
someone who's done all that is not all it's cracked up to be.
Oh yeah, you do have the experience.
I mean, I can see. I think a lot of people romanticize it a little bit as well. But at the end of the day, like the more you see, the more cultures, as you've said, you're exposed to, the more kind of you miss the beginning point where you started out from. I think it's because at one point that's what starts to feel strange. Where you come from. That's kind of that becomes kind of the thing that you start chasing when you go to new places and meeting new people. And you kind of start looking back. The more it's difficult to explain, but basically the further you get, the more you start looking back. That's what I've kind of encountered.
So sort of like you miss being back at the beginning of things.
Yeah. When I mean, this is such a cliche thing to say, but when basically everything was simple, yeah.
So like I think the thing is maybe like how everything was, you miss the concept of everything being new and then just trying new things.
In a way, miss not knowing so much, if that makes sense.
I think, yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Like, you're chasing new things, but then once you get into that routine of that sort of lifestyle, you're like, okay, is this it? Like, I want to do something else, maybe?
Yeah, because it just results in never being able to kind of settle because you're always on the lookout for. And that's something, it's also like a vicious circle that you can get stuck into in a way, to kind of always be on the lookout, to be kind of stuck in this wheel of opportunity that you're always chasing. And I think it's a very tiresome thing to do, and I think a lot of young people have that more than ever because there are just so many opportunities.
Yeah, you see so many things. Again, it goes back to like social media and stuff, and I feel like you're kind of left feeling dissatisfied with your own life. Okay, not purely due to social media. There are like so many other like reasons. Like, say if you're
so many points of comparison around you.
Yeah.
And then it's difficult to face the idea that it could have been different. You always think something could have been different.
Yeah.
I could have done this. I could have there's this whole and sometimes like things are the way they are, and it's more difficult to accept today that it's more difficult to let go of the idea that actually it couldn't have been any different.
Yeah, I think say like if you went to a different uni, you would have met different people, and then been a part of different things.
Or taken a different route. Like it's difficult to make a choice because you can't make any choice without thinking all the other choices I eliminated from myself.
Yeah, but then at the end though, you kind of have to like just choose a path and just go with it.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's getting harder every day.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like I really wanted to travel this year. Which may become a little bit more difficult, but definitely like a lot of places are like opening up now.
Yeah, but even if they're opening up, it's like I think they're driven by economic desperation.
Yeah.
Like, with the whole pubs and I think I read, what was it, a restaurant closing down or something, like a chain. Was it Bella Italia?
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's Rouge. I don't know, what was it.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember either, but basically, they went bankrupt or something like that. So I think that's the whole aspect of it, of people just, these businesses just being desperate at this point, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe to visit these places, but that they have to make a living, basically.
I think even like that being the case is like there are definitely fewer jobs than there were before.
Yeah, like especially in this kind of tertiary sector.
Yeah, and like even being a graduate, like you kind of have to like you kind of have to make do with what you've got. Yeah. Like you can't really be not grateful in this situation, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think especially like in terms of job prospects, we're living in a time where you just can't afford to be picky.
Yeah.
Which is not something I could have predicted like 3 years ago, but here we are.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go back to, because I was just thinking like obviously like I've graduated, I've got this degree, and like I said, I'm where I'm at where I was before, like when I was 16.
Yeah. And you're kind of looking around and you're like, oh, what now?
Yeah, but it's just like, if somebody asked me like, what are you doing here? Like, you've got this degree now, and then you feel like you would have had that job security with a degree like that needs it, but at the end of the day, like in this economy, you kind of have to
because everyone has a degree, so you're not really, it doesn't really single you out anymore.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, especially like now after like COVID and everything, you have to be kind of grateful that you've got a job in like anything, to be honest. Like it definitely is so much more difficult than it was before. So yeah, like I'm not gonna be ungrateful and be like, oh, you know, I totally hate my job or whatever. I'm really,
even though you do admit
it. Yeah, but I am like, honestly, I am grateful to just be working. Rather than not working, because like you said, so many businesses have gone bankrupt, and then you see like so many like job cuts that have happened. Even like you know, the chain Boots. Even like they have like had to close down so many stores, and I guess so many more people have been made redundant now because
I suppose there's only so many hand sanitizers you can sell.
Yeah, and it's just, yes. The thing is, I don't want. You feel like in this situation, you kind of want to complain, but then it's like you feel like, should you be able to complain? Like, are you even allowed to? Because there are so many more people.
I mean, in terms of complaining, I think that's a luxury I'm going to very much live with, because, you know, I mean, I think it's good to complain sometimes. Like, it's probably an unpopular opinion, but, you know, if you feel like complaining, complain. That's what I say.
Yeah, but I think it is difficult for everyone, so just be grateful for what you have. A lot of people are in a lot more difficult situation at the end of this. Hopefully, I think things are improving, things are picking up, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say how, you know, in terms of improvement, because, you know, we still don't know what's going to happen in the winter.
Yeah, someone was saying about something being like a second wave in like October or something.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember which scientist advisor person it was, but they pretty much said that they'd be very surprised if this virus wouldn't reappear in the winter. I mean, by reappear, they mean to the same extent that it did last winter.
To be honest, yeah, like, no, I wouldn't be surprised either. But have you seen like the whole bubonic plague thing in China?
No, I haven't.
There's this to be honest, like I don't really watch the news. I saw this on like the Snapchat stories thing.
More than I do.
Literally, that's where I've been like seeing some news stories. Apparently, like there's some person got bit by like a rat or something in like, what you call it, like more like North China, into like the more like Mongolia sort of territory sort of thing, and like apparently they have this like mini bubonic plague outbreak.
I mean, since the outbreak of this virus, they've been having so many there have been so many stories like these coming out of China. So to be honest, I can't even keep track anymore.
Yeah, there's just like so much. It's like, what else has like 2020 have in store?
Yeah, well, you know, we still have.
Yeah, I feel like you should just. Yeah, everyone should just sit with their popcorn and just wait to see what happens next.
Enjoy the show, or not.
Yeah, but it's definitely been very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
So should we wrap this up here?
Again, on a very positive note.
Yeah.
It's all getting worse. Just sit back.
I feel like we always end on like this negative thing for some reason.
Yeah, but it's not on purpose. That's the thing. It's never on purpose.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who's listening. Have a great day.
I hope we didn't bum you out too much.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.
Tune in next time, maybe.